Alright guys, today the 50 color challenge. You are going to use only 3 primary colors, red, blue, and yellow, to make 50 colors and then give them a name. No cheating. Don't use those secondary colors. Alright, first thing you're going to do, you should have a small piece of watercolor paper, and we're going to make 50 circles. So I'm going to divide this up into 10 and this into 5. I'm just going to put a little dot so I can kind of estimate where they're going to go. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, and 10. And then I need 5 across this way. I've already got 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. Now, you can use your compass, or you can just hand draw some circles. Not too big, not too small. Or you can use the center of this and use these little circles like this. That might be a little big since I need to fit 50 of them. Da-dum. And da-dum. And you're going to continue until you have 50 of those. I'm just going to hand draw these because it's good practice. Alright, first thing I'm going to do, I'm only using 3 colors. So you only have to put water in 3 colors. Don't put water in any others. But I'm going to take water on my brush and I'm just going to let some water fall in there so I can make sure it's clean. Into the red, the yellow. If you got green in there, you might want to wet it and then kind of get that green out so you don't have that mixture. I'm not touching the paint, I'm just putting some water on it so it can sit there and kind of activate that color. And blue. Only red, yellow, blue. They're the primary colors. Every other color, I just hit my camera, sorry, come from those. Okay, it doesn't have to overflow, but just to get that color wet. Alright, keep a napkin so you can get extra water off. We want pretty pure color here, so you don't want a lot of water in any of this. You want the purest color. No tint or no shade. Alright. I'm going to start with 2 of the primaries. I don't care. You can start with blue and yellow, blue and red, yellow and red. Doesn't matter. You'll go through all 3. And I'm going to take and pull some of these colors out onto my palette paper. Pull out a dominant color anyway. And then my first color, wipe that yellow out, and I'm going to take just a tiny bit of red. And I now have a little bit mustardy, a little more mustardy than our regular yellow. And you're going to paint that color in. And then I'm going to take a little bit more red, dab that off. A little more red. Just do small amounts. If it's puddling, just dry your brush out. Grab some of that up. Kind of got a little too much off there. Okay, I'm going to take a little more red. I'm gonna have to pull a little more color out. start to soak up. This brush absorbs a lot of color, so see if I can get back to that. All right, so I got a little bit more orange. It's a little more orange than that one. And I'm gonna get a little bit more red. So you're making small changes. You're seeing all those colors in between the just the ones on the color wheel are not all that exist. There's so many colors. And here, take a little more red. So you can see that I've already got 5 different oranges. And I can keep going. A little more red. And a little more red. Those are pretty close. I'm gonna put a little bit more red in here. So I'm almost to just red. You could have a lot more in between that if you do it a little slower. Okay, now I've kind of mixed all of it between the red and the yellow. Now I'm going to throw some blue into here, just a little bit. So I was just using yellow and red. Now I'm going to throw in just a little bit of blue. Tiny bit. This blue is going to overpower this pretty quick, so. And just see what happens. What color you get. It's very earthy purple. I'm going to put a little bit more. And a little more. Now, because I got so far to red, a really red orange, I'm gonna go back and add some more yellow to it and see if I can kind of go back to just this color with a little blue. And just see what happens when you start to put more blue in it, or excuse me, more yellow in it. Pay attention to what you're doing. You're trying to learn what happens when you're mixing what colors, so pay attention. I'm gonna try even a little more yellow in here. All those colors. All right, and you're gonna keep doing that until you kind of exhausted your more orange, red colors, and then pick another color to be more dominant. So here I've got a lot of warm colors. I could go to the blue and have more blues. So I can pull out a good bit of blue. If your water's soaked in, get some clean water and drop back in there. And then I'm gonna focus on, let's see, we'll do some greens. So I'm gonna be mixing blue and yellow first. And I'm gonna drip some more water in here. And take, ooh, got some blue on it too. I've already got another color, look at there. And I'm gonna take, I can add a little more blue. So here I'm getting all those blue, greens, a real lime green. Just working with blue and yellow for right now. If you hear, I don't know if you hear my kids screaming. I'm gonna have to pause in a minute, go whip some tails. Now once you've kind of got a variety of greens, which is just blue and yellow together, then you can go in and start adding a little bit of red and just see what happens when you add that complement. Red is the complement of green. And just see. It's a real pretty kind of taupey color. Add a little more. So you see this starts to get a little bit more red in it. The red is starting to overpower it a little bit. So you start to get back to that red. If it starts to look too red and I want it more toward the yellow side, I can put more yellow in it. If I want it more toward the purple side, I can put more blue in it. I'm gonna try the water on my brush. take a picture when you get your names on there, or before the bell rings. Upload what you have. Take a picture, put it on Google Classroom, click turn in, you're good to go.